Earlier this year, we released an enthusiast review video of the new generation Audi RS3, full of performance mods. And we love that car so much, we decided to give one away. Behind me is a 2024 Audi RS3, and in front of me is over 20 grand in performance parts about to be installed. We're gonna build the car, we're gonna test it when we're done, and then we're gonna give it away to one lucky customer. Every purchase on ECStuning.com from now until May 31st, 2025 will get you entered into the sweepstakes. And if you buy one of the brands that you see featured in this video, you'll get bonus entries. So check out our homepage for details, but for now, let's build a rocket ship of a car. But before we move into modifications, we want to get some stock dyno numbers. But like we said in our review video, it's really hard to dyno them. So we tried to dyno the cars, but all this torque vectoring system that I love didn't play well on the dyno. Even with the dyno issues, we got a stock number of 359 horsepower and 363 pound-feet of torque. Now it's time to hand the car over to Mike and Colin for some of the modifications.
Hey guys, I'm Mike from ECS Tuning. We're gonna kick off our project here at a great place to start any fresh project, an oil and filter change. Moly has all the oils and additives you can need for your vehicle, and Hengst has a great line of filters to pair with that. From there, we're gonna move on to some other mods in the engine bay. You're gonna be seeing a lot of APR products on this build. We're gonna start it off with their ignition coils. These are more than just an aesthetic upgrade and add 10% more spark energy and are a direct bolt-on.
We're throwing some Liqui Moly oil into our RS3. This oil has a lot of different additives that these European cars tend to like. I personally run Liqui Moly in all my European cars. I think it's a great oil. Should be good in this RS3. So we're going to be installing our ECS Tuning billet aluminum oil filter housing. This is a great looking piece, but it also does have some function. So if you see on the bottom, we have a drain plug for the filter. This just makes oil changes easier because we can drain the oil separately from this filter instead of messing around with the stock Schrader valve that's in the bottom of the stock housing. So it should be a lot easier for future oil changes. And to finish up our oil change, we're going to install our ECS Tuning billet aluminum magnetic drain plug. Here we have our APR upgraded ignition coil. These are nice because they're not just an aesthetic upgrade. These actually do something. So they're pretty easy to install, and it's kind of a no-brainer when you're trying to make power in an RS3.
I was just inspecting both because I haven't seen the new coils yet, and it's actually really cool. It has the dielectric grease in it already. The fact that the aftermarket APRs also come with it, I think that's pretty cool.
There's a lot more in this, so you're never going to run into any issues, potentially. So it's nice to have dielectric grease already pre-installed.
As with any turbocharged car, we're battling heat. IE's intercooler here is 65% bigger than stock and uses their flow distribution system to utilize the entire core. That'll bring our intake air temps down and free up a bunch of horsepower. To connect that intercooler, we're gonna be using our ECS Tuning carbon fiber high flow charge pipes. These are lighter than stock, stronger than stock, and flow 15% more than stock. Overall, a great product. We've checked these on the flow bench. They're killer. When you have a turbocharged car, you want those sweet turbo noises. A great way to make them better is to add our diverter valve spacer. This is a precision machine piece of billet here that spaces the factory diverter valve and has these little grooves to let those sweet turbo noises breathe. While we're on the subject of turbos, we're gonna be installing our big bore turbo inlet here. This is a cast aluminum piece that is a direct fit, and our kit includes all the fittings and hardware, and this is a 17% increase over the factory piece. A great upgrade for any modern vehicle is a catch can setup. This kit uses our 4-chamber baffled catch can. The goal is to knock the oil vapors from the PCV system out of suspension, collect them in this reservoir that's easily drained so they aren't fed into the intake system. This kit has all the mounting brackets that are a direct fit, as well as build adapters, so there's no modifications to engine covers, anything else in the engine bay. This is a simple kit you can install in your driveway. One of our biggest engine bay upgrades is our cold air intake system. This is in-house designed. This uses a huge 4.5-inch filter, and we've actually had this on the flow bench and found a 25% increase in airflow over stock. Everything's direct fit, no modifications required.
We're going to be installing this IE upgraded intercooler. The core thickness is about the same, but it is almost double the height of the stock intercooler. It should be direct bolt-on, light modifications, but nothing too crazy. So I think now we'll throw on our charge pipes and we should be good to go for our intercooler setup. So now we're getting ready to install our ECS Tuning carbon fiber charge pipes for the 8Y RS3. It's going to replace this OEM plastic piece here, and it should be a nice, good looking upgrade. The next owner of this vehicle is going to be very happy we put all these mods on for them. Very happy. I would be happy. It's going to be a great car when we're done. I'm excited to see it. Now it's time to install our big bore turbo inlet. We got our Venturi valve connected. We have our old plastic hose trimmed off so we can install our catch can kit, and it should be pretty straightforward from here on out. Next, we're going to be installing these clips for our catch can. It makes sense to do them while the intake is off. It just makes it a little bit easier to screw these into the firewall. These will keep our catch can hoses out of the way and tucked really nice, and it'll look really good in the engine bay too. Next up, we're going to be installing our ECS Tuning DV spacer into the engine bay while we're here. Should be a pretty straightforward install, 3 bolts, 2 connectors. Yeah, let's throw it on. This is our carbon fiber ECS Tuning intake tube. As you can see, it is almost double the size of the stock intake tube. So a lot more airflow is going to be really good for this engine, and it should also give you a little bit more turbo noise. So definitely excited about that.
It looks good too.
Yeah, it's a very nice carbon piece. Now that we are completed with the engine bay, we have our ECS Tuning intake, our APR engine cover, a couple other odds and ends like our catch can. Now that we're finished with all that, we're going to move to our AWE exhaust.
We're gonna install this AWE full stainless valved exhaust. It uses the factory valving commands from the ECU and everything, so you get the best of both worlds with your car.
I'm very excited to hear it. We heard a video of it, but once we actually get it on the road, we'll get an idea of how it sounds, obviously. But I'm very excited. Hopefully it makes the car sound really cool.
Install going well?
Yeah, install's going great. Everything fits exactly as it's supposed to, which is a big plus for exhausts, obviously, in my opinion. Here we have our Schwaben exhaust hanger pliers. These are really great for removing exhaust hangers really easily. They just go on like this. This presses along the end of the barb, and then you can just remove them really easily. Very nice tool. Cannot wait to hear this car.
All right, Colin, so I heard you found something cool in the back of the RS3 here. What'd you find?
I did. So this might seem a little bit lame, but to me this is pretty cool. So in the toolkit from the factory, this car comes with a little wheel hanger. So if you guys are familiar with your European cars, you usually need a wheel hanger to put in place of a wheel bolt so you can hang your wheel when you're removing it. You don't need it, but it makes it a little bit easier, and it's nice that this 8Y RS3 comes with one.
Now we're gonna move on to suspension. First up are these sway bars from APR. These are quite a bit thicker than stock and are adjustable with a couple different hole options, as well as their end links, which are adjustable in length, and they have different options for the ball joint or spherical ends. Next up from APR, we're gonna be installing their billet pendulum mount. This is all billet stainless here, billet aluminum here with a nice spherical in it to get rid of any play. And then we have this insert for the bushing on the trans mount that'll really firm things up. Our friends at Bilstein sent us their B16 Damptronic coilover setup. That uses the electronic damping control, just like the factory car, so you can have a soft ride at the push of a button or a firm ride. Also, you know, they're adjustable for different ride heights.
Next up, we're going to be installing our APR upgraded front sway bar. This sway bar is really cool because it is obviously a lot thicker than the stock one, and we have 2 adjustment points for our sway bar end link. We got the subframe out, so if you've ever done this on a GTI or a Golf R that's the MQB platform, literally the exact same thing. Took almost no time at all. So let's get this sway bar thrown on and see how she drives.
How's it looking, Colin?
Looks pretty good. It fits real nice too. I like these brackets, how they use the OE style. It like clamps the sway bar bushing in, basically. We should be good to throw this back in the car. To finish off our front sway bar install, we're going to be installing this APR dog bone mount and this APR dog bone mount insert. And these are really nice billet pieces. These things look crazy, so definitely excited to install them. Next up, we're going to be installing our rear Bilstein coilovers. We're also going to be installing our APR rear sway bar because we're in the area and we already have things apart. This thing sucks. Put this on your car instead. We love APR around here. So this is their upgraded rear sway bar. It has 2 points of adjustment for your end link. It's definitely a lot beefier, so let's get it installed. Schwaben tool. This is the Schwaben tool that I'm using. This is the Schwaben shock and strut removal set. It's really nice. It's got the hollow socket on the top so you can counterhold stuff real easily. Look at that. So nice. Shocking. Next up, we're going to be installing our APR adjustable sway bar end link. This one does have normal adjustment points like an adjustable sway bar end link, but it also has 3 different levels of length adjustment. This will definitely be a big upgrade over the stock gross looking sway bar end link. Next up, we're going to be installing our APR throttle booster onto our sweepstakes car. This should give us a vastly improved throttle response from the factory mapping, and it should be a pretty quick install.
For brakes, we're going to be going with EBC's Red Stuff pads. This is a Kevlar compound with a little bit of ceramic in it, so it's a good all-around balance between, good initial bite, low noise, low dust, great for a daily driver.
Spent a lot of time putting go fast mods on this car, but at the end of the day, we got to be able to stop. So these pads should enhance our stopping capabilities. Next up is my favorite part of the build, and that's going to be mounting tires on our brand new Apex wheels. These Apex wheels are a forged design, so they're really lightweight compared to stock. And also, the RS3 comes with a factory staggered setup with 8-inch wheels in the back and 9-inch wheels in the front. We are going to be upgrading that width to a 9.5 in the front and a 9-inch in the back. So it should be a little bit more aggressive than stock. So I noticed when balancing these Apexes that the wheel is very stable on the balancer. You can see it in the footage if you watch, like this wheel is it's balanced very nicely. And it definitely shows that Apex cares about these wheels when they make them. Good quality for sure. Next up, we're going to be installing these Apex wheel spacers. RS cars come equipped with a rather large brake caliper. Apex has assured us that this will allow our new Apex wheels to clear that caliper.
I love the car. The fitment's outstanding. The wheels look great. Apex does a great job with that.
Last but not least, we're going to top off our build with the ECS Tuning Street Shield. This Street Shield is a must-have for any build, whether you're lowered, stock height, doesn't matter. It'll always protect your undercarriage pretty decently.
Before we can finish the exterior of the car, we have to drop it off at our friends at Superior Wraps in Hartville, Ohio. Here they're going to install our custom printed livery.
We finally got our car back from wrap. Now we're going to be installing some of our aero pieces. First up, we have our ECS Tuning Aero Diffuser. It's a carbon fiber piece. And we have our ECS Tuning carbon fiber rear lip spoiler. So let's get these installed. I think this is my favorite product that we make for this car. It makes this car look so much more aggressive.
Well, that's the build done, and as mentioned, we were gonna test before and our after results are in. We have added 15% more power, which is a huge gain on a factory ECU car. We are super happy with that. As we mentioned in the other RS3 video, the parts aftermarket is a little bit ahead of the tuning aftermarket. So once tunes become available for these cars, we expect that ceiling to be raised well above 15% gains. If you wanna see this car, we're gonna take it with us everywhere we go this year on our show schedule. Follow us on social media so you know what shows we're gonna be at and where with this car. As a reminder, you have until May 31st to win this car in our sweepstakes. Every dollar you spend on ECStuning.com will get you one entry. And if you buy any of the supporting brands you see on the side of the car, you'll get bonus entries. So like, comment, and subscribe for more enthusiast content and win yourself a car.